welcome to my channel. I'm going to be sharing my journey to hopefully become a stay-at-home mom here. I am a speech therapist and I have worked in schools for the past 8 years full-time. I work with elementary age students and I've really loved it, but I also have a family. I have an 8-year-old daughter and also just recently had a cute squishy little newborn. She's 2 months old today. So that's kind of what changed everything, but I just wanted to give some background information and share my story a little bit today because I'm hoping to use this channel to share some tips and some, different ways to make money on the side and things like that for anyone else who might be going through the same thing that I am, because I've been wanting to spend more time with my family and my kids for years and years, and I just have been scared to take that leap because of the financial security that we have now. So first of all, I love parts of my job. I love working with kids. It's really rewarding. It's such a rewarding job, but there's a side of it that is not what I signed up for. It's not what I was expecting when I went into this field. And anyone that works in special education knows there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of legal red tape. There's deadlines, and there's no wiggle room for anything. And that side of it has taken over so much of the job. It's just not doable. The workload is so heavy for one thing. And also I'm dying inside from all this paperwork. It's a little dramatic, but that's sometimes how I feel. Like I said, if you're in special education, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's always been a stressful job. The workload is high, but up until recently, it really felt like it was a good payoff with how much I loved working with the kids and how rewarding it was. But then COVID happened, and that kind of changed everything. Because now I took my normal job, and in like a weekend, I had to learn how to do teletherapy. My daughter was in kindergarten at the time, so I got to be a homeschooling mom without signing up for that. We were home all the time. And there was added paperwork for, again, those of us in special education, just to make sure all of our bases were covered. They were giving us no leniency with any of our deadlines or anything like that during the pandemic. And it just became so difficult. In the past 2 years, it's just the stress has been, for me, almost unmanageable. And by the time I deal with my work stress and my work day, I get home, there's just enough time to, get dinner, get homework done, get my daughter ready for school the next day. And there's very little room for quality time in there. And not only that, but I was just exhausted, or I am just, right now I'm on maternity leave, but I was just exhausted all the time. No energy left. I was short with my family, and I just felt like I was in survival mode all the time. And I just kept questioning, my daughter's only going to be a baby for so long. I will never get this time back. And I just had this desire to stay at home with her and spend at least the next few years with her and not have to miss milestones and things like that. But it is a hard decision because right now we're pretty comfortable financially. We can, within reason, we can buy what we need. We can buy extra. Honestly, we buy too much of a lot of things. That's one of the big changes we need to make. But, we are able to go on nice vacations usually. And I knew if I quit my job, that would pretty much cut our income in half at this point. And it's just so scary to know if I'm able to do that. It's hard. It's hard to look into the future and make sure everything's going to be okay. You can't do that. You just have to take the leap of faith sometimes. But when my second daughter was born and I've been on maternity leave and just kind of questioning everything and really dreading going back to work in a few weeks here. Not because I don't want to see my students, but just because I do not want to be away from her. I started asking myself questions like, if we had to change our lifestyle, would it be worth it? If we could never renovate our super outdated kitchen that we've wanted to redo for years, if we just had to keep it the ugly blue that it is now and never renovate it, would that be worth it? Would it be worth it to never move out of this house, which is pretty small? Or to never be able to go to Disney World again, or, on those nice vacations. And as I'm asking myself this, it hit me like, for me personally, it's no question I would sacrifice all those things 10 times over to get this time, because for me, this time is more valuable than a lot of those things. So I just kind of had this moment where I just thought, like, I have to try. This is my only chance. I have to at least try it. This is where my heart is. I feel like this is where God is leading me. However, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a working mom. For me, my heart has always kind of just yearned to be at home with my kids, and that's just what I've wanted to do, kind of in the back of my mind for years. But I'm jealous of women that can find that work-life balance and can go to work and be such a good example for your kids, that, women can do anything and we can provide for our families. And I think that's amazing. And I feel really proud that I've been able to do it for 8 years. But for me, I personally was not able to find that work-life balance. It was like work was so heavy on one side, and then the life part was suffering. I feel like both were suffering, because there's just only so much of me that can go around. But yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with that. I think I have such a heart for working moms, and I feel like it's one of the most underappreciated things that you can do, and also just super hard. It's so hard. Like, you don't realize how hard it is until you live it. But anyway, I feel like there might be a lot of moms that are like me, that are not working moms because we choose to be working moms, but we're working moms because we feel like we don't have a choice. Financially, we feel like this is our only choice. So I'm going to take a leap of faith and try some extreme things as far as budgeting goes. My cat's playing with his toy over there. Hope it's not too loud. Yeah, you can watch me. I can be the guinea pig, and we'll see if it works out. And I'm just going to be sharing some of my things that I'm learning as I go along, like budgeting tips, some ways to make money on the side. I'm really looking into just figuring out ways that we can find fun activities for the kids to do that are cheap or free, instead of spending all this money like I'm used to doing. I feel like a lot of us do that just without thinking about it, but I'm gonna have to be intentional now. So I'm gonna be sharing about that if you'd like to follow along. I guess what I'm really hoping to get out of all of this is to increase my quantity and quality of time with my kids, and my husband, and just our family as a whole. We're gonna have to sacrifice. But I think it's a trade-off that's going to be worth it in the end, to be able to give my full attention and focus and my time, and to not constantly feel like my adrenaline is just pumping because I need to get this and this and this and this done. And these things are all floating in the back of my mind about what I have to do at work, and the timelines, and, just all the stress that goes along with it. I can just focus on one thing at a time. That's what I really want to focus on, I guess, is my focus. And instead of multitasking and getting a million things done at once and rushing through everything, I want to do one thing at a time and focus on it. And that includes my kids, especially, so that I'm not always distracted and rushed and short-tempered and those types of things. And I know it's not going to be perfect, but I really think that this is the right decision for our family right now. And my husband is in total agreement. He's been really awesome because I was scared to even bring this up with him for the longest time, but he has been amazing and just talking about, different ways that we're going to make it work, and been very supportive. And I'm so thankful for that, because I know, if your partner isn't on board with everything, you don't really have a choice, I guess. So I'm very thankful for that. So if you want to follow along and just kind of see how it works for our family, hopefully not watch me fail and crash and burn, but hopefully this is going to go well. So yeah, if you want to follow along, go ahead and subscribe. You can like this video if you want to see more like it, and leave me a comment below if you are a mom too who would like to become a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you are one and you have some tips for me. I'd love to hear any of it. Thanks, guys.